I remember taking off the cast after my nose job, and I want to describe what that feeling felt like because it was one of the strangest moments of my life. Imagine this. You've been walking around for weeks with this idea of what you're going to look like, this idealized version of yourself, and then the cast comes off, and you're standing there looking in the mirror, and there's a split second where your real self and the self that you imagined meet for the first time. And they don't completely match. And I remember thinking, oh, so this is what I actually wanted. And also, is this enough? The question, is this enough? That's the whole thing. Because 2 weeks later, I knew that the answer was no. And look, I want to be honest here because I think people beat around the bush with this. That, yeah, the surgery definitely made me feel better significantly. And for a while, it genuinely felt like I was complete, especially because I had so much self-hatred and so many self-image issues up until that point. But it was like a cocaine high. And of course, I've never done cocaine. And but I say that specifically because it had that same quality, intensity that was total and temporary, and then it faded. And when it faded, the insecurity didn't disappear. It just found somewhere else to live and new things that it attached itself to it. And suddenly I'm looking for the next thing I could fix, the next metric, the next version of myself that could finally be enough. So maybe it wasn't my nose, maybe it was my jaw, maybe it was my eyes that were somehow imperfect. And this loop, that specific feeling of like almost having something but just needing one more thing, that's not self-improvement. That's what this industry, our society, our flawed fucking monkey brains are designed to produce. And so there's this philosopher, Lacan. And Lacan had this idea that desire explains the whole machine. His argument was that desire requires objects to remain absent. So the moment that you actually get the thing, whether it's like your face, your body, some salary, some position at work, whatever, the desire collapses. So the industry's entire job is to make sure you never fully arrive at satisfaction. And it works perfectly. You fix your nose and suddenly you're looking at your jaw. You're like, shit, let me fix this. You get your jaw, suddenly it's your skin. You're like, yo, I got some acne on my face. And you fix your skin and now it's your body. There is always the next thing and the next thing, and it's slightly more urgent than the last one. Just so we can like mog other people. BS. So yeah, you're not broken. You're just stuck in the loop designed exactly what it was meant to be. A fulfilled person doesn't buy anything. They don't need anything. But this whole business model, our society runs on you just staying dissatisfied, so your hunger just continues to want more. That's a key element of capitalism. So Nietzsche talks about this concept of self-overcoming, which means like becoming more fully what you are. So this is the process of confronting who you are honestly and building from that place. And what I've realized is that most of what gets sold as self-improvement is completely the opposite of self-overcoming. It's what I call self-performing, which means that you're not becoming yourself. You're becoming a better approximation of an image that was handed to you by the beauty industry, by social media, by whatever current aesthetic standard happens to be in this year. Oh, big booties? All right, bro, get the big booty, get the BBL. Big dick? Big dick, there you go. And these things change constantly. They're designed to change because a static standard is a standard that you could probably reach, but if that was the case, then we wouldn't have them at all. And so self-overcoming requires you to sit with who you actually are first and look at the real self in the mirror and let the cast come off and be honest about what you see. But self-performing requires you to just constantly find the next and the next thing. And let's talk a little bit about looksmaxxing. There's this whole corner of the internet now dedicated to physical optimization. So facial ratios, bone structure, mewing, jaw surgery. I'm sure your parents or you have been asked about the mogging, the clavicular memes. It basically is the postmodern incel slop. And I've been in that world. I understand the pull of it, but I've watched it happen to people around me, to myself, and And in going deeper into that doesn't produce more confidence. It just produces more obsession and insecurity, more awareness of the gap between what you are and what you're trying to become. And you fix one thing and insecurity rebounds. So you're unhappy. And the beauty standard you're chasing was designed by this industry that profits from you never reaching it. And they don't want you to achieve this idea. And the things that have actually made me feel good about myself really have no metrics. There's no subscription model. There's no before and after photo. It's fighting. It's YouTube. It's creativity. It's expressing myself and becoming more whole. And coming back from 2 joint surgeries when people told me I had to quit my athletic future. I believe that I create value for myself by making something that didn't exist before me. And those things move me in a way that no amount of physical optimization or surface level self-improvement ever could, because they required me to show up as myself time and time again and do what was right in front of me as a means of improvement. And that's the uncomfortable way of looking at it, and it's the uncomfortable thing about booking a surgery or starting a routine that isn't, one that the self-improvement industry sold you. You can't package it. You can't monetize the moment because you're actually meeting yourself. And I'm not saying that getting better at things is wrong. Getting better at things is fine. And it's extremely important. Wanting to improve is fine, but stop being so damn selfish. I'm not here to tell you to get a surgery, to not get a surgery, or to not go to the gym, or to not work on yourself. That's not the point of this conversation. The point is that there's a difference between improving because you're building towards something that's genuinely yours and improving because you can't sit with who you currently are. Those aren't the same thing. And because of the discomfort of being yourself is so loud that you need to sit down and quiet it. You shouldn't have to quiet it. You need to be okay with those voices inside your head and realize that that is a fundamental part of your existence as a human. So most of what is actually getting sold as self-improvement is just socially acceptable addiction. A way of staying in motion where you never have to stop and ask these uncomfortable questions about who you really are. And once the cast comes off, once the high fades, what's the next thing to chase? That's the question. And the industry will do everything to make sure you can never have an answer to it. So fuck that. Put your middle finger up and learn to love yourself. Because once you do that, you starting on the journey towards real self-improvement. Let me know what helps you get better. Let me know what helps you improve. Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Kudos. Peace.